All right, all right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a 4v4 matchup. Just gonna go ahead and go through the names real quick before I start the game. It's Starbuck as Orc, PaTo, Icor, Ape Whisperer as Night Elf, going up against Jens, ToD, Caspin, and Shadow. All right, so yeah, gonna be difficult to try and figure out how to read that from a list for you guys. I know it's all up here, but let's get those introductions out of the way as we are playing this game on Twilight Ruins. 4v4 matchup. I know a lot of you guys out there like the team aspect of Warcraft 3, especially random team, because, well, if you lose, you can blame someone else on the internet. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down here. It is going to be an East versus West, a split straight down the middle here. We're looking at Night Elf in this corner here and Orc in this corner here. Night Elf generally a little bit more difficult as we are looking at a proxy Ancient of War already coming across from the Night Elf, the green Night Elf player. Meanwhile, Caspin on the other side here does have an Altar of Kings, Barracks, farm. It really does depend on what that player does in these lower spots. If you know you are going to be a closer spawn to your opponent, well, respond accordingly and build some static defense. Ancient Protector, or Scout Towers, Arcane Towers, Watch Towers, Guard Towers, Nerubian Towers, towers in general. Just make sure you don't try to fast tech to tier 2 if you are in those closed wings. I got you on the start. Yep, you got me right at the start of this 4v4. And, well, sometimes I feel like my replay picker says, you know what, I haven't heard Vincent Crota stumble over his words in a while. All right, so Crota is going to be stumbling over words as things get underway. Archmage going to be trained up here. Footman going to be moving out and already going to spot this Ancient of War. This Ancient of War is already, well, pretty much going through the trees now. And Caspin may realize, wait a second, I really do need to get this tower up that much faster. All right, Militia now being called around. Archmage is right there. Ancient of War going to slowly push his way through these trees. Is the Archmage going to perhaps drop a water elemental and then try to put pressure with the Footman? No, he is not. He is expecting that his opponent is not going to be in a great spot. Keeper of the Grove now going to go for an entangle. Perhaps go after that Footman right there as the Keeper of the Grove now tries to retreat back. So this is a very, very aggressive style of play. You can see that the Night Elf here, he is actually very sparse. This is exactly what Caspin was looking at, trying to see if you're going to try and build buildings in my base, what buildings do you have in your base? That's proper decision making, trying to counter what your opponent is doing, not just reacting to what you see here. Meanwhile, Night Elf continuing to clear out creep camps. Tree ants are going to go ahead and clear things down. We are looking at a Tree of Life expansion over across in the center. So some expos could possibly be placed down here. Demon Hunter, I'm going to get to level 2. A lot of action all across the board. Blade Master with Mirror Image going to go ahead and clear out this, Maruku Deep Sea or Creep Camp, as the Headhunters are playing a little game of poke and while also trying to keep away from these locations here. Meanwhile, what is happening back in the base? Well, Caspin did not overreact. He responded perfectly well, but now he kind of has this weird backdoor entrance inside his home that he's not going to really like. Meanwhile, Caspin here, he sees an additional Ancient of War being placed down, some Scout Towers now being placed down as well, and that's actually going to be right there next to his opponent. There is going to be an entangle. Keeper of the Grove going to exchange blows with the Archmage. Archmage, well, knows that, hey, that entangle doesn't last very long against a hero. He's just going to wait it out and then continue to fight. All right, we are taking the tier 2 by the Night Elf on the southern side. Meanwhile, trying to look at the mini-map, see what else is happening. ToD now moving across the battlefield with those Farseer and that Headhunter, looking to just get higher hero levels, and using higher hero levels being effective against the opposing who are trying to defend. Arcane Tower, Keeper of the Grove going up against the Archmage. Archmage could have a little bit of a bad day. What's happening here? Caspin may end up losing this down to 6 hit points. He's going to get taken down. Yes, does get picked apart here. Arcane Tower should now be focusing down onto the Blade Master. Not quite sure what's happening here as this Arcane Tower will get shut down. Meanwhile, Farseer of Illusion able to spot this Great Hall being added in. We see a reveal happening over here as both sides are setting up those expos and trying to establish economic advantages. Now, ToD's army. Well, ToD, generally, from what I've seen him play, he likes to almost play a little bit solo. He's such a strong solo player that he's doing his own thing and, well, like moving from position to position, finding ways to help the team. The difficulty is when sometimes he's out of position or in a place where, not in the most optimal place where his teammates need him to be. That is often the downfall of ToD's strategy, but he's able to just find places to be places of importance and be effective in those battles. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove, Demon Hunter continuing to clear out more creep camps. There's a Necrolite. There's a Goblin Shredder. That's going to get cleared up really quickly. More archers, a little bit of Storm Reeve healers, and these guys, the Murgle Bloodgills. Essentially think of them as Forest Troll Shadow Priest, able to get in a good number of heals here. Meanwhile, we see the Entangle go down onto a Headhunter. Units trying to retreat back. Farseer trying to retreat here. We're looking at a Purge from that Storm Reaver trying to heal up. There's a Deny by the Wolf. Nicely done to deny a little bit of that experience. Meanwhile, back off to the north here, Keeper of the Grove looking to clear up this Tree of Life. It looks like the Archers and the Panda is ready to offer that protection as the Keeper of the Grove now trying to retreat back. Gonna go ahead and slip on through right there. Keeper of the Grove gonna fall back here. Meanwhile, Mana Burn onto the Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain without mana. Entangle now onto the Grunt. So small pickoffs, small wins across the battlefield here. Difficult to say who's actually coming out on top though, since the battlefield is just so large. Tauren Chieftain without mana attempting to take down this Tree of Life. However, Demon Hunter and Keeper of the Grove going to make its way over. There's a Staff of Teleportation inbound. Panda now shows up. There's a Mana Burn. There's a Breath of Fire trying to blow in even more damage as the Tree of Life down to 500 hit points. Are we perhaps going to get a repair? That is the question. Two of the Grunts are currently entangled. They're not attacking, so it's only the heroes that are really attacking right now. And this lone Grunt here. There goes another entangle as well. So this Tree of Life may fall, but the question is at what cost? Losing multiple Grunts, all right? And well, that Grunt is also going to get taken out. There's a Scroll of Speed. There's level 4 on that Demon Hunter. Are we going to see a Staff of Teleport? Yep, Staff of Teleportation on the Demon Hunter to try and regroup and head back off to the other side to try and shut down this Expo. A lot of action going back and forth, a lot of positioning and maneuvering, trying to find the right place to be. Now, which expos are running? Shadow has an expo here. Meanwhile, no expo there. We're looking at a clearing of an expo by Caspian, and Caspian still has this back door, but has promptly put a blacksmith in place to make sure that it isn't easy access. Blade Master, Unholy Aura, we're looking at another Archer getting taken down. Both sides just picking off units left and right. Well, yellow and green continue to poke each other back and forth as Dryads are now showing up on the battlefield. Dryads with those slow poisons. It almost looks like that Dryad doesn't have the full throw animation. There you go, finally getting the throw animation. They were just kind of launching out of the back there as the Demon Hunter forced to use the Scroll of Town Portal in order to get away. All right, there's some repairs underway here. Demon Hunter, did he get the Moonwell? I'm not sure. Now going after the Goblin Shredder, which is currently ensnared. So Fishing Rod trying to take it down now. The Demon Hunter is trying to save it, unable to do that. There's a Breath of Fire blowing things over as we now see the Dryads trying to apply some slow poison. Maybe dark the background of the map. Yep, maybe dark the background of the map. Yeah, that might help me figure out where all of the action is there. All right, Raiders attempting to take down the Tree of Life. Scroll of Town Portal, tactical retreat, but forcing the Tree of Life to get canceled. Panda now finds himself by his lonesome self. Keeper of the Grove could get in front. There's some Orb of Venom auto attacks by the Keeper of the Grove. I'm actually surprised we didn't see an entangle from the Keeper of the Grove. Simply waiting for that as we now see Scroll of Speed used in order to get that Brewmaster away. All right, more attacks across, more armies moving across the center here. Both sides still testing the waters. This expo trying to be established. ToD has established a great hall here by using that pocket hall Pocket Great Hall now that he is at Fortress. Couple of illusions going to get cleaned up here. Castman or Goguma going to be in trouble. Potion of Invulnerability forced to be used as he's going to go ahead and back away as well. Meanwhile, we see, well, I believe that was a Stormbolt onto the Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove trying to head back here. Dryads, Druids of the Claw, both sides fighting their way through. Rifleman needs to get healed up. There is only one Priest in this position right now, as the Dryads could end up getting taken on. There's a Stormbolt on to a Druid of the Claw, trying to finish off a Druid of the Claw before it is at Mastery training. Always a smart call, that as they only have 505 hit points, and now trying to Stormbolt, yes, going to go ahead and finish that off right there. Meanwhile, well, Rifleman going to be forced to retreat back. Peasant's going to be forced to retreat back. Caspin needing to do a tactical retreat, as we're looking at units back in the center here. So far throughout this match, we are still seeing only small skirmishes from both sides. A lot of hit and run tactics. We're seeing these raiders here. Tauren Chieftain comes with a nasty shockwave, finishing off many of the Wisp who had come over to repair. More of those raiders able to retreat back. Meanwhile, coming back across here, we're looking at this, well, orange or creep camp, this gold mine getting cleared up. Well, already giving the Blade Master level 4. 2 expos, well, 1 expo operational for the green team, another one about to be established. Meanwhile, this one could be established up momentarily. We are looking at no expo here, and instead of ToD with 1 here, and now Shadow with multiple chimeras ready to go, and well, Mayhem perhaps trying to set up another one here in just a second. All right, Pandas, Demon Hunters battling it back and forth again. Mercenaries getting hired up quickly. You see a quick entangle. Shadow could be in a little bit of trouble with the coming of the, well, Green Orc able to get in some ensnares. It's a 2-on-1 fight. Dryads are going to get cleaned up here. How come there is not a Scroll of Town Portal? I do not know why. This is just feeding experience pretty easily, as there's only heroes left and no, well, supporting army. Raider does get taken down. Dryads, well, Keeper of the Grove trying to finish off this one. Brewmaster. Brewmaster still has a Potion of Greater Healing, able to make its way back out as well. All right. Caspin still perhaps remembering that early Ancient of War trick by Whisperer here, trying to eat through the trees and show up in the base. Meanwhile, we see a large army inside the main base right now. Guard towers units going to all try to engage, and we are looking at, well, shamans, berserkers with bloodlust trying to push their way through. All right, the units are they going to be able to push their way through. A quick hex onto the Blade Master. Blade Master actually held all of these units in position, as we're looking at a healing wave bouncing around. There's a big stomp there. Tauren Chieftain only sitting at level 1 though. That stomp's not going to last that long, as we're looking at Stormbolts go across. Major fight happening down here on the south. This is 2 armies versus 2 armies. Another stomp by that Tauren Chieftain, who is going to have a very bad day, finally ends up falling. The Berserkers with a frenzy here, trying to poke apart their way through. Kodo Beast now trying to push their way through. ToD's own Kodo Beast perhaps doing a little bit of blocking, as the Mountain King tries to escape away at 53 hit points, but unable to do so as the heroes focus it down with auto attacks. Now going to level up. Archmage gets up to level 4. Keeper of the Grove going to try and get an entangle. Keeper of the Grove needs to do a tactical retreat out. Healing wave bouncing around, going to keep that Tauren Chieftain alive for a little while longer, but that's not going to last long at all, as the Blade Master about to get finished off. No, Potion of Invulnerability given at the last moment. Chain Lightning as a departing gift, as those units back away. Meanwhile, back on the north side, we see an army of chimeras have already been on the move. They're trying to go after perhaps a couple of these units here. Are we going to see a couple of ensnares go down? We are. Ensnares are placed down onto those chimeras, but the army is going to be able to perhaps start pushing. They have that siege damage, they have that range, they have the ability to focus down units, as we're looking at a quick entangle there, followed by an Abolish Magic. Anti-magic shell going to be perhaps important to deal with the magic attacks of those chimeras, as the chimeras looking to line up and figure out their next point of interest. Chimera is extremely powerful with that range. If they can attack with range against key buildings, they can take them down extremely quickly, and by doing so, will start hurting the economy of the other side. Chimeras now making their way across. You can see, well, a couple of Bat Riders right here. Scroll of Town Portal inbound. Treants are going to come across, perhaps just blasting away at some easy buildings. Could be the call. You can see that the Dryads are here as well, and look how quickly that barracks gets shut down. Meanwhile, on the southern side, more pressure coming across. ToD's Tauren Chieftain back out in that front line as well, so it looks like ToD and Castman are working together on the southern side. Meanwhile, attacks on the northern side. It is the lone Chimera. Panda able to get in a Brewmaster attack here as we're looking at the Chimeras trying to poke apart. All right, Brewmaster could be able to perhaps come across, get another Breath of Fire. Dryads are poking down some of these Chimeras. Chimeras are down to only 2 in number, but the Stronghold is now down to sub 400 hit points. Are the Chimeras going to be able to be enough here as the Keeper of the Grove continues to push their way through? More Breath of Fire coming across. Tauren Chieftain falls at level 1 down on the southern side. Meanwhile, this Expo about to get taken down here as this town or this hall has been blown over. All right. Panda could perhaps try and use more Breath of Fire, able to finish off more of those units. Chimera is going to look to retreat back. Meanwhile, a tactical retreat by Human, forcing ToD to try and walk back. He doesn't want to do the long walk home. Instead, going to use the Scroll of Town Portal and retreat as well. All right, some big damage across the board. Now that we have one starting base gone, it is now, 5 bases compared to 6. Staff of Preservation for the save. And, well, a lot of heroes here. Level 5 Demon Hunter, level 3 Panda, and a level 4 Keeper of the Grove. The Chimeras should be retreating back at home, perhaps going to try and heal up as this base slowly gets cleaned up. Now that one base has fallen, perhaps we're going to see a little bit more desperation coming across from the green team. Green team is trying to come across here, but they have to be tactical in their maneuvers. A quick thunderclap there, taking down a Druid of the Claw while in Druid form. Always nice to be able to do exactly that as we're looking at more units making their way over. All right, another Witch Doctor get taken out. Healing War going to get picked off there as the Brewmaster now makes its way across. No mining off to the north here. Units trying to retreat back. There's a Purge onto a Kodo Beast. That's going to end up easily getting taken down. Demon Hunter, Mountain King, well, ready to push back the other way as momentum now shifts. Chimeras, Keeper of the Grove, perhaps they can find another way to attack, but remember, there are those Bat Riders which are very effective against these Chimeras, being able to, well, easily poke them apart. We're looking at, well, a Panda here trying to shut down this Expo. Meanwhile, the Chimeras are looking to take down the Tauren Chieftain, who are putting in pressure inside this Expo location. The Ancient of War about to get taken out. However, mass repairs underway will keep that Tree of Life going. Nature's Blessing, well, making it relatively easy, at least for now. Now, the Troll Bat Riders, they also have siege damage too. So the Troll Bat Rider saying, you know what, if I can't find the Chimeras, maybe I can start just burning down my opponent's main base just like he did to me with air units. Meanwhile, on the southern side, we're looking at a Tree of Eternity that's going to get taken out. So Caspin able to finally put enough pressure down, take down the other Tree of Life on, or the Tree of Eternity on the other side. Panda comes back. He gets Staff of Preservation back home, it appears. And now we're looking at the Keeper. Keep the Panda now trying to fight back against all these units. Brewmaster was able to get in a good Breath of Fire against a couple of those Troll Bat Riders. That's why they're so low on hit points, as these heroes are trying to retreat back out again. Panda sitting at level 4. Troll Bat Riders, does the Panda going to spot them? We're looking at a little bit of poke damage. No, Panda unable to get underneath and get that Breath of Fire across those targets. Keeper of the Grove now trying to make its way back over. Meanwhile, the heroes, the duo, Keeper of the Grove and the Priestess of the Moon, looking to continue to just harass across on the other side. Scroll of Town Portal, units, Berserkers, Troll Bat Riders are all here. Berserkers trying to fight their way through. Another Scroll of Town Portal inbound, and this is going to become a 3-on-2 fight. Not a good spot for green at all. Goma going to be forced to retreat back out as the Tauren Chieftain falls at level 2. Meanwhile, Tauren Chieftain is inside here looking to, perhaps pick off some easy units. Troll Bat Riders have to be extremely careful, though. They are one Breath of Fire away from pretty much being blown out of the sky, all of them. Chimeras once more on the move. Scroll of Regeneration acting as a beacon heal for all of these Chimeras. Chimeras have relatively large hit points, but Night Elf not known for their healing aside from Rejuvenation and their Moonwells, both of which, Well, both of which are on the other side of the map right now. I don't think I've actually seen Druid's the Claw coming in from the other side here. Now, Shadow is slowly making a strong push here. Yellow has the advantage, and now it is up to green to figure out where they're going to try and make a last stand. Stasis traps could be helpful. Large amounts of AoE, things of that nature could turn things the other way. A quick Stormbolt onto one Troll Bat Rider. Rifleman able to shoot them down. Archmage now gets up to level 5 as they are still moving forth. The Chimera is extremely important. They provide the range, they provide the threat and the pressure. Meanwhile, this Tauren Chieftain off on the side here is just cleaning things up for the sake of cleaning things up, trying to be annoying. Chimeras come in from the other side, so we are going into a Chimera versus Chimera battle. Stormbolt onto the Shadowhunter. Chimeras are trying to battle things through. Taurens are going to get burst down here. There's a Roar as well. So both sides, I believe, have Roar on their Chimeras, dealing large amounts of damage. The green ones, however, do not have that siege damage, but it doesn't really matter. They're really going after these Taurens and these other magic units. That's going to give more experience to the green army as the Tauren Chieftain shakes off a Stormbolt with a Potion of Invulnerability. Keeper the Grove gets up to level 5. Quick stomp in that front line to try and slow things down, but Healing Ward extremely effective in a 4v4 matchup as everything just seems to be healing up so easily. ToD forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal to try and retreat back. Archmage Caspian could be in a little bit of trouble as the Keeper of the Grove going to go ahead and use a Scroll of Town Portal in order to, well, get temporary invulnerability. Level 6 now on the Panda, as the Panda is going to be forced to try and retreat back too. So a great stand by the green army there to ward off the attack. And now teleporting back off to the north, perhaps going to be able to even finish off another Druid of the Claw here. There goes one Druid of the Claw. The Dryads are going to try and poke, and they are going to be doing exactly that, but more damage could easily come across. There's a Breath of Fire onto the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter trying to exchange blows. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire onto all of the Chimeras. Chimera is still able to get in some big damage against those units as a Potion of Invulnerability now going down. All right, Panda. Well, the Pandas, the heroes, are the only main targets here, and this yellow army is just kind of like in a tough spot. 1 down, 2 down. Both heroes on yellow have fallen, and suddenly, with that sudden burst of experience, perhaps green has a bit of life in them still. All right, moving around with all of these heroes, or with all of these Chimeras, going to make their way back down across the south here. It looks like green has a little bit of momentum, trying to push it back across the other way. All that time, the Tauren Chieftains and the harassment trying to delay the mining of these expansions, perhaps that gave them enough footing as the Blade Master now makes its way inside here. There's a quick mirror image, and they're going to dive on in, going straight after that Arcane Tower. Where is the rest of that yellow army? I don't see it as of yet. Healing Ward has been placed down, and we're looking at some of these buildings getting cleaned up here. We are looking at dual Orb of Venoms from the Night Elf here, plus 20, or no, single Orb of Venom. The Priestess of the Moon doesn't have an Orb of Venom, as I originally thought, as we're looking at the Archmage, who now needs a tactical retreat out. Is the Mountain King going to be able to escape? Yes, no! He is not. Mountain King falls at level 3, gives the Tauren Chieftain level 6, and now Caspian is going to lose the southern base here. Meanwhile, we're looking at ToD trying to put pressure here at this Expo, trying to slow things down, stop the economic rebound of green, but at the same time, Caspian lost his base too. There's only about 3.5 minutes of mining left here, so perhaps that was a calculated risk, but losing a base is just demoralizing when you perhaps thought you had such a large advantage. Chimeras making their way through. Chimeras do not have the siege upgrade. They need to really get into here in order to fight, and well, they're fighting right now. Chimeras now finally getting that siege upgrade. They're going to be able to attack from range against all of these buildings while also dealing more damage. Scroll of Speed on Chimeras, absolutely scary. Look how quickly they're moving across the map and how much damage they can do by just getting into position. That's one of the balancing factors on those Chimeras, that you can outrun them so easily. Farseer and Shadowhunter both fall. Tauren Chieftain is at level 6, so he doesn't care if he falls. Both sides are fighting here. The green army is really has dived dove in really deep into this spot, but they seem to be okay as the, well, other units are continuing to try and retreat back here. All right, Chimera trying to keep up. No, not going to keep up any longer. We're going to see that Rifleman, well, barely escape with his life. This base of ToD may end up falling as well. And as the Chimeras, well, we expect them to be able to do large bouts of damage per volley, and that's exactly what we see here. That fortress pretty much not going to stand a chance. No repairs at all. ToD is going, not believing that is worth saving. Meanwhile, coming across to the center, Shadow is still, well, trying to train up more Chimeras. We see that there are Druids of the Talon here. They have that piercing damage, but 29 to 47 piercing damage against this sheer number of Chimeras is not going to be enough. More of these Chimera roosts are going to get blasted down as the Green Army, well, seems to have found the perfect counter. All right, level 6 Blade Master, level 3 Tauren Chieftain. Both sides still fighting their way through here. A new base was trying to be built to try and do a little bit more mining, but, well, Mayhem is going to come across and shut this down. No mining down across here. We're looking at, well, a couple of Taurens and a Shaman on the southern side by ToD. Perhaps they need to regroup with the rest of the battle or rest of the units as well. All right, so now let's look at the mining bases. I believe it's 2 mining bases. Now main bases have mined out. So is it 2? No, it is only one mining base for green. Meanwhile, we still have some mining off to the north here. Mining here, mining... No mining there. No mining here. So it's 1 base to 1 base right now. All right, so 1 base to 1 base. Chimeras of PaTo finding their position, going to be able to blast that down. Now heading off to the north. This may be a last stand situation for Mayhem as we're going to be going into an engagement here. All right, Druids of the Talon making their way over. They do deal piercing damage. Breath of Fire blows some of them out of the sky, though. Panda sitting at level 3, looking to try and dive on in. Demon Hunter is sitting at level 6, saying Chaos range damage. Perhaps that's going to be enough to keep me alive. No, a quick Hex onto that Demon Hunter. He's trying to back himself back. Anti-magic potion to keep him alive. Ancient Protectors are there as well as the Druids of Talon are continuing to poke. All right, Dryads, Brewmaster falls at level 4. Scroll of Town Portal, Tactical Retreat, Keeper of the Grove trying to retreat back out as the Chimeras are just going to be able to clean up all of these units pretty easily. The creep camps even trying to join in on the battle. Hippogriffs out here on the battlefield, but they're not going to last very long, especially with so many Berserkers and other units on the ground supporting them. All right, mining. ToD trying to stop any long-distance mining now. Chimeras in position, going to go ahead and fall there. Staff of Teleportation inbound, perhaps as Caspin brings in an Archmage, and he wants to perhaps try to get to mass teleport so that he can move his army around, even though there isn't much of it. Shadows, Chimera going to get purged and shut down there. What is the army size? Caspin only has a 15 supply army as we're looking at this Voodoo Lounge about to get cleaned up. All right. Green. Well, yellow struck first, but green struck back and struck back harder, apparently, as the Blade Master now venturing forth once more. This base about to get taken out. Ancient of Wind trying to train up more Hippogriffs. Not going to be able to do so. They're upside down on supply. 14 supply here. 33 supply here. 15 supply here. Things are not looking good for the yellow side at all. They chose a perfect time to counter push. They figured out what was NWS not worth saving, buying time, and then, well, pretty much trapped them at the 8 o'clock spot and had the yellow team just push into a location thinking they had every advantage, only for it to unravel apart pretty quickly. All right. ToD looking to clear up some additional creeps here. Majority of the creeps have been cleared out. You're looking at the Skeletal Orc Champion in the center. That is going to get cleared out as well. I believe, yeah, there's a Shadow Hunter is level 4. He can gain, or Tauren Chieftain's at level 4. He can gain some experience. All the other heroes of level 5 or higher. Keeper of the Grove going to go ahead and retreat all the way back home. But right now it is pretty much just green everywhere. The green army is just mobilizing and moving across the map. This entangled gold mine about to get taken out here, trying to open things up. We're looking at a potential battle. Potential battle only for a quick scroll of town portal to happen. No, that was the Tree of Life. It was a canceled scroll of town portal. Tranquility now down. Blade Master there. So Blade Master next to the Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove taking quite a bit of damage. He's going to be forced to retreat back. The Hex finally goes down. Healing Wave bouncing around. Yellow trying to retreat back again. Keeper of the Grove. Metamorphosis now onto the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter going to be able to use some range attacks. Perhaps be able to finish off this Blade Master. Blade Master falls at level 6. And now it can push back the other way again. There's a stomp onto another hero. Level 5, I believe, Shadow Hunter is gonna fall there. Archmage is still in the back there. Both sides still fighting their way through. The Chimeras are still in the air. They still present a very big problem as the Tauren Chieftain falls at level 7, but he's gonna get back up again because of his ultimate ability. Panda is still alive and well, still here. Demon Hunter wants to try and engage against the Chimeras with that Orb of Venom Chaos damage. Perhaps try and poke apart Chimera after Chimera. Mountain King falls at level 4. Healing Wave still bouncing around, so the Moon Wells of Night Elf seemingly doing a great job. Earth, Wind, and Fire, or Earth, Storm, and Fire, excuse me, out picking up that Demon Hunter temporarily, trying to remove some of that duration on that Metamorphosis as the units are once again falling back here. Shadow Hunter is getting separated from the rest of the group. This things could be bad here. Demon Hunter does have an Orb of Venom still. Going to get picked up, thrown up into the air. Healing Wave bouncing around. Priestess of the Moon falls at level 6 during this engagement here as the units are trying to retreat back. So Yellow lost quite a bit. Green losing quite a bit as well. Demon Hunter trying to fall back here. Archmage of Caspin going to drop a Water Elemental only to have it turn completely into experience for the other side. With that many Chimeras, it is just too easy to burst it down before a single attack is done. Shadow Hunter trying to get a little bit of mana as well. Are we going to see a Healing Wave? There's a Shock Wave. Keeper of the Grove could be in trouble. Scroll of Town Portal going to teleport and live to fight another day as the Hippogriffs are trying to poke apart at those Chimeras. All right. Keeper of the Grove teleports himself into a spot where, well, it's not altogether that helpful. Tauren Chieftain is going to line up a Shockwave and be able to finish it off. Trying to, well, oh, beautiful dodge right there. That Keeper of the Grove, by pixels, dodged the Shockwave. This Expo, however, now completely shut down, and, well, Yellow losing any chances of mining. All right, Demon Hunter looking to fight back their way through again. Chain Lightning bouncing around. More Orb of Venom. More attacks, more engagement. Are we going to see a Stasis Trap? Yes, Stasis Trap stunning those units back again. More poking going down. Chain Lightning bouncing around, finding some targets, putting them into the red zone here as the Chimera is showing back up off to the north. Still no mining that I can see anywhere on the map except here by PaTo. PaTo able to continue to mine that spot at the 10 o'clock expansion location. And Chimeras pushing their way through. PaTo with the level 9 Brewmaster. Demon Hunter sitting at level 6. Archmage. Level 3 Brilliance Aura did not get mass teleport. Doesn't make sense to mass teleport when you have no one to teleport with you since your army is so small. Inbound Staff of Teleportation. Shadow or Blade Master shows up here. Quick purge onto that Water Elemental. That's going to get finished up here. Shadow Hunter going to get taken out. Tauren Chieftain now at level 8 as the Shadow Hunter falls at level 5. It looks like Green needs to somehow just close the door on this game and they will be fine. Hippogriffs going to catch up to the Chimeras. Panda does not have enough mana for a Breath of Fire here. Perhaps could at least auto attack and engage. Tauren Chieftain trying to apply the Endurance Aura buff here. Unholy Aura buff not enough to allow these Chimeras to walk away from these or fly away from these Hippogriffs. As another Hippogriff is going to get poked down. Yes, it does. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter at level 7 finishes off an illusion. We're looking at more units trying to make their way through. It looked like they were trying to do a little bit of long distance mining, but with the forest in the way, the long distance mining is just going to be still a bit too far anyway. So Berserker is going to go ahead and finish off the last couple of these peons as the Hippogriffs now being brought over to try and clean up some of the shamans. All right, who has the larger armies? PaTo sitting at 42 over 100. 5/0 there, and Goguma 33/71. So perhaps trying to give a little bit of gold and staying out of low upkeep is a good choice here. Sitting at 48/100, give it to Goguma and try to get him up to low upkeep first as well. Shadow looking to set up an expansion. Blade Master, Tauren Chieftain making their way through. Purge onto some mirror images again. Tauren Chieftain trying to, well, not quite sure what he's doing at this stage. At this point in the game, well, Blade Master falls at level 6, so because the heroes' levels are just so high, any unit that's caught out of position is pretty much instantaneously in trouble. So you have to be extremely weary of any sort of plans that you may have to just try to do a bit of scouting. If you accidentally walk into 2 or 3 of the opposing heroes, direct damage, auto attacks, stuns are going to turn that hero into a dead hero pretty fast. PaTo does have this Tree of Eternity, trying to get gold out of it as quickly as possible, but the Demon Hunter is now going to go ahead and show up. Metamorphosis on the Demon Hunter, and perhaps now try and engage. Panda is also nearby, perhaps ready for a Breath of Fire if the Wisps make their way out for a little bit of repair action. Tree of Eternity, even with 2,000 hit points and 7 armor, not going to be able to do much. Panda's going to try and line up this Breath of Fire. There's that Breath of Fire there. 3 more coming back out. And, well, those Wisps, are they going to get detonated on... Well, no, but it looks like there's some detonations. But I don't know how many overall. Chimeras of PaTo coming back to the other side. PaTo has a level 10 Brewmaster, Tree of Life. Not going to be able to mine any gold from this gold mine. Not going to be established in time at all. These 2 watchtowers, this one and this one Ancient of War, perhaps enough of a deterrent to keep mining happening. And that is the only mining happening on the map right now, and there's only about 5.5 minutes left of it. Tauren Chieftain trying to, regroup here. The main green army with the main yellow army following up behind. Couple of Wisps still looking to perhaps transplant themselves some and get mining in. So no mining, no gold mine. Battle ready to take place. Level 4 Tauren Chieftain followed by Chain Lightning. Shadow Hunter on a heal. Shadow Hunter getting into a little bit of trouble. Tauren Chieftain another heal. Tranquility. Shadow Hunter finally gets blown over. Keeper of the Groves. Tranquility not in time. Cyclone picking up. Yellow army trying to retreat back out now. You see that, Keeper of the Grove no longer having Tranquility because of Earthstorm and Fire. Breath of Fire blowing things over. Both sides still fighting their way through. Farseer gets up to level 6. Chain Lightning still bouncing around here. 36 minutes into this matchup. Panda still trying to fight their way through. Perhaps get some more Breath of Fire off. There's some more damage coming across here. Blade Master trying to finish off some units. Earth trying to act tanky against all of these units here as the Archmage still continuing with this pressure. Caspian has a couple of had supplies, so he was able to hire up a couple of mercenaries, perhaps getting gold from a partner as the units are trying to retreat back. Earth is where PaTo's Brewmaster will respawn and quickly needs to use a Scroll of Town Portal to get out of that tight spot. Tauren Chieftain making their way back out. I thought Yellow was out of the fight, but never give up. Yellow continuing to push their heroes, able to really carry them quite a bit a ways here as the Tauren Chieftain falls at level 8. Tauren Chieftain, even if it has Resurrection, is just going to be completely surrounded by 3 other opposing heroes. Panda is trying to come here, trying to offer some support. Both sides are fighting. Tauren Chieftain comes in with the stomp. He is still surrounded by heroes. Things could go bad very quickly. Tauren Chieftain now mana burned, now stomped. Tauren Chieftain of Fishing Rod going to fall. Level 7 now on the Archmage. Archmage with Brilliance are providing mana to the Yellow Army, and perhaps that is the difference on why the Yellow Army has stronger heroes. It's just the mana and the abilities, and with that, Green is going to end up starting to leave the game. There goes Fishing Rod, and I believe Yellow is going to be the victor with their higher level heroes. Beautiful game, a beautiful matchup here. Yellow holding on, able to overcome the income deficit and get the win. Let's take a look at these final scores.